Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Shar, Dr. Sharmika Newton, and I am excited to share a little bit about myself as it relates to the nomination for the 100 Rising Psychologist. I want to first talk about how I have sought to extend psychology beyond traditional roles or views. I am a strong believer that psychology belongs to the people. It belongs in community. This past year in 2025, I ran for and was fortunate enough to be elected to as president-elect of Division 45, which is the Psychological Society for the Study of Culture, Ethnicity, and Race. When I ran for that position, my platform was about bringing psychology to community. And that is something I have felt deeply and something I have tried to do throughout my professional career. My work focuses in on how can we move psychology from academic journals and silos in the ivory tower to communities that need it the most. Communities that many times will not come to our offices for psychological services, but they may come to a community event, they may view our social media, or they may even come to a training or workshop that we have that is community based. So my work as a psychologist has been focused on moving our science to community, to people who need the help. An example of this is last year, summer of 2025, I had the opportunity to bring forth a panel discussion during Division 45's research conference. While the research conference was phenomenal, it only involved us as psychologists or psychologists in training sharing our research with one another. I wanted to take the conference to a different level where we went into the community so that we weren't just psychologists attending a conference or convention. And so I put together a research panel that included the family of George Floyd and two psychologists, Dr. Mytisha Williams and Dr. Sierra Carter. That panel was brought forth in community and our Arbor, Michigan community, where individuals were invited to sit with us as psychologists and to sit with the family of George Floyd and talk about racialized trauma and how we heal from it, how we regain hope, and how we recreate social change in the face of tragedy. That's the work that I do. It's tangible. It's work that reaches beyond research and applies it to communities. My work expands traditional views of psychology by situating psychological sciences within the lived realities of historical marginalized communities, particularly those navigating racialized stress and social political marginalization. But I not only do that within professional organizations, but I seek to partner, taking psychology and bringing it in partnership with others. Throughout my work, I've been asked to partner with various nonprofits, one of which was Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, where I was invited to their youth symposium to talk about mattering with girls of color. Through that work, I was able to support, mentor, and build up, hopefully, girls who often have the identity challenged by mainstream society, and I was able to build positive racial identity. So the ways in which I've expanded traditional views of psychology is through partnership. Partnership by bringing our science in partnership and also bringing in collaboration other organizations within community. Next, I would like to talk a little bit about the multi-dimensional use of psychological science. My work really, it draws upon the contributions of multiple disciplinaries, including counselor and psychologists, counselor educators, sociologists, social workers, and public health professionals. An example of this is an event that I am currently planning through Division 45, which will occur in August of this year at APA's convention in Washington, D.C. We are partnering with the Washington, D.C. Psychological Association to bring forth a community wellness fair, again, with the spirit of bringing forth a nonprofit organization that's based in Washington, D.C., and partnering with us to bring together a fair for people in the community to talk about wellness from a culturally holistic approach. These activities that I do help to address racialized trauma and to build positive racial identities within communities of colors and communities with diverse backgrounds. As it relates to recognition within the field, my work is gaining recognition within the field. For a long time, I was in the practitioner side of the model where I was working more in private practice and outpatient settings. However, the last 6 years, I have become more involved in academia and I've started publishing my work. My work has received publications in some of the top tier psychological journals. One of the ones in which I'm most recently proud of is that it was selected to be in the Journal of Multicultural Counseling and Development. It will appear in a special issue that was edited by Dr. Nomer Devimes. The article focuses in on broaching and it looks at broaching through a training model perspective. My work is gaining recognition also through work that I have done around the development of the Broaching Readiness Framework. Myself and a colleague, Dr. Janae Steele, published a Broaching Readiness Framework that seeks to prepare individuals to broach issues of race, ethnicity, and culture. While Dr. Devine coined the term, we realized through our lived experience and clinical experience that many times folks just aren't ready to broach, and there has to be some readiness or preparedness to help individuals broach issues of race, ethnicity, and culture. And so my work around the framework has gained recognition and attention. Thirdly, I have also had the opportunity to publish a book about building positive racial identity and overcoming racialized trauma. That book is entitled Black Lives Are Beautiful: 50 Tools to Heal from Racialized Trauma and Build Positive Racial Identity. So through my work, peer-reviewed and not peer-reviewed, my hope is and my aim is to really advance the research in science to expand the scope of our work as it relates to broaching, racial identity development, and healing from racialized trauma. As it relates to my experience with psychological expertise on elevating social justice, a core part of my work involves advocacy. I currently serve on the American Psychological Association's Advocacy Coordination Committee, and in fact, I was a co-chair for one of our subcommittees the last year. In this work and through this work, I've had the opportunity to go to Capitol Hill with APA. We actually just went a couple weeks ago. But one of the things I often push for, whether we're talking about AI or Medicaid reform, when we're meeting with Congress, I often make sure to bring into the room the impact of social justice, particularly for people of color and people of diverse identities. I try to include that in my advocacy work through the conversations I have with lawmakers and with Congress. This is important because including our voices at the table, and particularly marginalized voices of color, is important to make sure that these things are looked at from a perspective that includes social justice and social justice from people who have come from culturally diverse backgrounds to help to make sure that we're promoting mental health for everyone and that equity is included. As it relates to a cultural, local, and contextual grounding, my work is deeply grounded in cultural and contextual understanding of psychological well-being. I recognize that mental health expertise are shaped by cultural identities, community histories, and local social political environment. As such, my research and practice focuses in on intentionally including culture into the work that I do, which is again seen through my peer-reviewed publications as well as my hands-on experiences with community partnerships. So one of the things I hope you take away from the information that I shared with you all today is that my heart is really about transcending and transforming psychology, our science, bringing it to community to bring about healing and reform and joy to people who often have that stripped away by mainstream society. I am excited to be nominated for this award, and I hope if selected, I can use my platform and recognition to further the mission and the work. Thank you.